Okay.
And secondly, with respect to that bill, was there any computation as to money we would save by in time where teachers could actually teach? Was there any dollar savings that was associated with that
Go ahead.
concept?
That's not been completely fleshed out, but we will certainly do that with respect to...
How long have you, 2 years ago you've been studying it and it hasn't been completely fleshed out yet?
Agreed that we have not done that completely. But we
How
will
many in the
certainly-
department, at the education department that deals with this area of the state education work, namely paperwork and the like, how many people are paid by the state of New York to flush these things out?
I think it's a combination. What we have to understand is a combination of state requirements and federal requirements. So we need to put both pieces together to understand
Okay, well,
the who's doing what.
give me the couple of pieces of paper and I'll figure it out for you, all right? Because it just seems to me that, and I am being somewhat sarcastic, but it's so frustrating when we're complaining about the lack of funding for education and that things are costly to do and they're done year after year after year. If it's the legislature that's not giving you the relief, then the public should know that. I mean, and we should be put to task to make sure that you got the relief that you need.
You'll have the bill. You'll have our cost estimates. You and I are equally committed to not wasting a dollar.
Okay, last area, and I've got a million of them, but I've got to go. But this is, did you ever read the article of August 2009 in the New Yorker called The Rubber Room?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that unbelievable, that article? Now, some of the statements in that article that I read, it talks basically about the process for removing teachers that either are charged with crimes or misconduct or incompetence and the like. And the article talks about, at the time, 600 New York City teachers in the rubber room. And the rubber room is where they wait, basically do nothing, while the process to decide whether they should be removed or not takes place. And they estimate in the article that $100,000 between salaries and benefits, I probably think it's more including benefits, are paid to these 600 teachers. Now that's $60 million, if I calculated it correctly, every year. And now, whether the teachers are incompetent or not, the fact is there's 600 teachers, all of whom may be innocent, that are out of the classroom, and $60 million is wasted by a process that takes 3 years, sometimes 4 years to get it done. I know there's been bills in the legislature on many occasions to change this, and this is our fault. But I guess what I'd like to have is as much data as possible district-wide as to this process. In the article it said, and I've done murder trials, defended people in murder trials, prosecuted murder trials. The teacher that they were referring to, their hearing process took 50% more time than the OJ trial. And the average time it takes to remove a teacher or to find the teacher innocent and back to the classroom is 8 times the average criminal trial. Now, isn't there something wrong with that? And the one thing I noticed that the process, at least in New York City, according to this article, and I know the administrators in New York City and all the districts are just as frustrated as I am on this, that the reason they're so long is sometimes there's a hearing a couple days a month, and it goes on and on and on. Is there anything, and I'm asked, this is a question, is there anything that requires hearings to only be given 2 days a month rather than getting the damn thing done so this process moves on a little quicker?
Yep. Let me say first that I absolutely support the regents, and recently on this issue, the regents were very clear that they wanted a revision of the 30/20A requirement, which is what you're speaking of. The 50 months plus that we often see in those hearings are unfortunately reinforced by a funding structure that doesn't incentivize the closure of those hearings in good time.
Fine, but is there anything, the question was, is there anything that requires these hearings only to be 2 days a month as opposed to start it and get it done?
I don't know the answer to that question, Senator. I will get that
information. Is it in the contract? I guess, are they in the contracts or whatever, but if they're in the contracts, it would seem to me that a teacher, a good, sound teacher that's in the classroom, that sees 600 teachers sitting on their duff waiting for a hearing, I think every good teacher in the system has got to say, this is wrong. This is just wrong. And teachers are getting laid off because there's 600 teachers in one district. It's going through a process.
We agree that there should be efficient due process, and I will get you the information on the specific question you asked.
Okay. Race to the top. I assume you supported the governor's bill?
The bill I would support, frankly, is a bill that would get agreement from you and all of your colleagues.
Well, it's only took you 4 months to learn how to play politics in the state of New York. So with that excellent answer, or excellent non-answer, I will bid you adieu.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.